So today's Mayan Oracle, you guys, is going to be bought from Eek, spell I-K, and welcome. Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to my channel. This is Karunā Anahata Ma'at. I will just be bringing beautiful information from the Mayan Oracle. And anyone that's heard this before, y'all know I'm going to give y'all some symbols, some things to amplify, some things you can use. I'm going to read the actual Mayan Oracle passage that I have from the Mayan Oracle that I love so much, published by a couple actually. And so I'll read that, and then I'll dive into some shadow wisdom and harmonic wisdom, and I'll dive into my own channel of the Mayan Oracle. So today, the message is from Eek. Okay? And Eek represents air and wind, you know, breath, inspiration, vision. I think it's very fitting. We're at the end of visionary season right now. So we're talking about that. We're talking about co-creating with reality to bring forth what is in our hearts. We're talking about integration of polarity and duality. We're talking about, you know, the masculine gets things done, but they only know what to get done because the visionary gave them the plan of how to get the thing done. So it's really about integrating our masculine, our feminine, and bringing forth what's inside of us, like letting our passions set things ablaze, you know what I mean, being really inspired. So I'm going to start by reading the passage, and then I'll dive into some other stuff. I am Eek, Spirit's fire, breath of life, Apollo's lyre. Spark ablaze in chariot's flight, all I touch I do ignite. I am knowing, spirit flowing, fire filling form with light. I am the brilliant crystalline core. As cosmic breath I dance and soar, life's essence infusing time and space, arousing creation with tender grace, revelation of the beloved's face, mystic reunion divine. As I billow into divine mother's silken cells, we feel the spiral dance with forms unveiled, that awaken the dazzling light upon the face of creation. All do I arouse upon the shimmering crest of my graceful descent. Breathe deeply as the pervasive presence feel its exhilaration. I ignite the circuitry of your potential. I mirror the potency of your presence, the completion of your polarity. I am the frequency of unseen forces through which in this moment reality courses. Hear me laughing as wind through the trees, see me moving mighty ocean waves and rapturous vortices. All I touch, I stir into celebration and honor of spirit's divine elevation. As galactic solar wind, I am knowing dance as the one. Power purifying, I arise. I am an inspiration as it flies. Let me lift you, free you, fill you. I carry the breath of heaven upon my windy wings, enfolding you with the sweetest song simplicity can sing. The unbridled bird knows freedom by soaring on the updraft. When we get the message of Eek, it's really about not being afraid to let your inner fire set shit ablaze. Excuse me. There are things where many of us are feeling uncomfortable in situations, in places, in belief system, in constructs, in things, and we were never meant to be comfortable in systems that we are meant to transform. I'm gonna say that again. You were never meant to feel comfortable in systems that you were meant to transform. Be open to being guided and inspired by that which triggers you, but also integrating a deep understanding and respect for the benevolence of what is happening and why it is happening. Why are you being shown this? Why are you being triggered? Why is this uncomfortable? Do not bash the very circumstance. You can have the dissonance. Don't bash it though, because it is the circumstance. It is the circumstance that is bringing you to your own remembrance. How can you remember who you are if you're not uncomfortable in who you are not? Spirit wants you to stop and breathe and really experience all that there is. Spirit wants you to simplify your process. The things that you want to bring forth, they don't have to be super complicated. Our inspirations don't have to be super grand, right? They just need to be divinely inspired. They can be very simple. You can take it one step at a time. The Eek brings messages of authenticity. Are we being authentic with our truth? Are we being authentic with how we feel? Are we being authentic to our innermost voice? Or is there a voice of someone that was not our voice ever to begin with? Maybe you were a child that loved so many people, but adults always said that's wrong and you're supposed to love one person. And so you walk around with this shame and you're unable to tell a partner how you feel about others. Maybe you wanted to paint and it authentically came from your heart, and there was a parent that said that art makes no money and you shut that down. The Eek guides us back to that inner fire that is like, yo, express yourself. You are being fortified in that. You are co-creating your reality with spirit. And so when that inspiration comes through, knows that your heart's dream is being animated in the presence of your own breath. So it is important that you speak to these things. It's important that you allow this fire that's up within you to burn away all that doesn't serve, to burn away all that needs to fall away, and get back into the things that you really love. Get back into the things that really inspire you. You may be really afraid of being seen, right? Because the Eek is such truth that it powers through. And sometimes that truth is so much for others, and then we hide it, right? I'm going to go back to the example of many loves, right? Because this is something that I embody and I talk about it a lot, and something that's very important to me. Is that, matter of fact, I'm going to backtrack, rewind, I'm going to go forward, I'm going to come back, I'm going to do all this other stuff, but I'm going to get to it. But what I want to say is that when we allow ourselves to be truly seen, when we allow ourselves to be authentic, when we allow ourselves to bring up that which is within us to the forefront, listen, you're scared of being seen, but do you know that when you allow yourself to be seen, that those that are meant for you will see you for you? True friendships will come, true connections, true partners, true love. When you speak your authentic truth, people will come out of the woodworks because they'll be in alignment with that truth. But if you are masking that truth, then how can you ever, if I was to mask the fact that I want to forever love with a best friend that transcends the physical, I want to forever love that we are authentic in our being, we can communicate anything. If I was to walk around and not speak to that, then I would probably meet a bunch of people who are not in alignment with that. But I had to face that fear. I have to be very authentic with the fact that the type of connections that I crave are not going to be of the mindset of that monogamous is a firm and it has to be for a lifetime. Because that's not authentic to my embodiment as unconditional love on the planet, right? And I know that won't be for everybody. But again, the more I talk about it, the more I align with those that are in alignment with me. And so Spirit is urging you to let your truth be seen. Because what happens is that when you are aware of what you are creating within you, you create a unified field of presence. And then there's so much power in that, right? Like, I facilitate Psyche, which is bringing oneself to a whole brain state around anything. And there's tremendous power in the whole brain state, because then you don't exist in any other moment but present and now. But that's another message for another day. So some of the shadow wisdom of the Eek are doubting your connection to the divine. So you feel like, I'm not doing the right thing. Am I doing the right thing? You're not trusting your intuition. You're wondering why these things are going on. But the Eek comes to show you that the goddess is within you. There's no need to doubt any. There's never a time in life that you are not divinely connected to the divine, directly connected to the divine. There's never a time that you are not connected to the divine. And the Eek shows you that. In the shadow of the Eek, you may be questioning yourself. In the shadow of the Eek, you may have some subconscious feelings. You may have some things that, you know what I mean? In the shadow of the Eek, you may expect shit. You may be even being in a weight. You may be even thinking that only spirit is the way, or only the physical is the way. But in the transformative energy of the Eek, it's like, no, we need both. Yes, I'm directly connected to spirit, but yet I have to move. That means I pray and then I move. I meditate and then I move. And then I know also when to be still, right? Because you may have a condition, because listen, it's the Eek. It's about what is not your truth. So if you have a condition of always being on the go, but your inner truth is stillness, you get what I'm saying here? Then this is the wisdom of the Eek. You have so much potential. You have so much potential. Act on your inspiration. And the breath of spirit can be very subtle. Once again, like I said, it may not be a big grand movement, but maybe you need to cross your legs and meditate for 20 a day. What are you inspired to do? Maybe you're not about to go run a marathon, but maybe you paint for 20 minutes a day. Allow yourself to receive this information. Allow yourself to receive the divine guidance, because how I'm feeling in this message, I may be speaking to a couple of manifesting generators in this message. And I say that because I'm feeling like this urge to do these things, and you feel as if you're scared. Somebody told you not to. Nah, go do that thing. If you feel constrained by thoughts, religious groups, even spiritual groups, you know what I mean? Do you remember judgments coming from them? Do you in turn judge others? This is the shadow of the Eek. But remember that there's truth in all forms. So if it's you that's judging, there's a truth there. It may not be that person's truth, but there's a truth there for you, because you are the judging party. And for those that judged you, may not be your truth, but the truth is there for them. The truth is there for them. Let that be their reality. Let them live there. You, child, be free and be willing to heal any judgments that you may have adopted that inhibit you from being your most expansive self. You are more expansive than the wind. You are more expansive than the very atmosphere we sit in. You are everything, everywhere, all at once, at all times, always, and always. If you feel dense, if you feel heavy, if you feel betrayed, if you feel abandoned, these are things that can be reconciled and healed, because these are issues of separation. And let me tell you, I know that I'm speaking to a group that is here to be catalysts of great change. And so it is imperative that you heal and reconcile any beliefs of separation. And see, this is what I know now. This is why, because usually I don't talk about the way I relate in my channels and stuff like that. But the poly kept coming up. And so now that I'm in this message of healing your beliefs around separation, maybe you're never separate from the divinity that is within you. Everything you need, have, and will ever need and have is all within you. That includes people, places, and things. They are emanating from your very being. So you need to know that you are not separate to your divine connection. If you were to never say a name again, if you never called on the name of Jesus, if you never called on the name of Oshun, if you never called on the name of Buddha, Krishna, Muhammad, if you never called on any of these names, if you have never said the word God, if you have never said the word creator, if you have never said the word universe, doesn't matter. Because your value is intrinsic and your connection to the divine is steadfast. It is your birthright. And that is the message from the Eek, y'all. I didn't even go over Let me rewind. I didn't even go over any of the other things. So, so the number for the Eek is 2. So the number 2 is about the eek. The color is a translucent white light. So you can meditate, envisioning that white light to activate the power of the eek. I'm an air sign, air bender, so I love being in the mountains with air. You know what I mean? I practice in the mountains as far as air bending, but other things like prayers, meditations, yoga, different things. I'm caves environment, but I go to the mountains when I need that fortification of air. Some herbs are eucalyptus, lilies, baby's breath. So these are flowers. Lilies, baby breath, white spider, chrysanthemums, the flower essence that you can take. And I don't know if anybody knows about flower essence that's listening. I love flower essence. It just really is amazing. It's super easy to make in the home. But red ginger, and then that signifies the union, right, of duality, the union of masculine and feminine. Scents that really amplify the eek are copal and sweetgrass. Stones that fortify the eek are Herkimer diamonds, quartz, topaz, clear topaz. Direction for the eek is air. The shadow wisdom of the eek is doubt. I already said this, but I'm gonna just read it from here. Doubting your connection to divinity, issues of separation, thinking you're separate from spirit. Highly important, y'all. You are never separate from the all that is you. Like, think of it like this, y'all. I don't care what religion we come from, whatever the case may be, it all agrees that God is this all-knowing, all-loving, all this, all-expansive, all. If you knew everything, right, how do you know anything? And the only way is to become. So God, an all-knowing energy, this expansive energy just out in the void, starts to become. It becomes you, it becomes me, it becomes tree, it becomes he, it becomes she, it becomes cat, it becomes dog, it becomes frog, it becomes bat, it becomes a rock, it becomes plant, it becomes tree. You get what I'm saying? It becomes. You are never separate. You exist because God exists. You exist because consciousness exists, and consciousness exists because you exist. This is a 360 cycle. If you go up to a tree and you mother freaking say, listen, matter of fact, I'm gonna do the paper. If you have a sheet of paper and you say, when is this paper created? The human 3D mind will go to the manufacturing date. But the paper existed in the thought of the man. The paper existed in the tree. The paper existed in the soil. The paper existed in the rain. The paper existed in the sun. The paper always existed. The right things everything needed to come together in order for it to manifest. But the paper always existed. Okay, if you say, you know what, I destroyed the hell out this paper. I don't know what she's talking about. Crumble the paper up. The most detrimental thing you could probably do to paper is burn it, correct? And what happens when you burn the paper? Smoke goes up into the clouds become the rain. You get what I'm saying? Ashes go into the dirt, soil. There's a tree in somebody's yard right now that is springtime and is growing flowers, and somebody say, these are the same flowers from last year, different flowers. They not the same flowers, but they not different flowers. The flowers exist because those before it existed. And it's a cycle, and that's who we are. So you can never be separate from that which is in you. There is no death and no birth. There's a beautiful book, and honestly, some of these examples came from that. I keep it funky. There's a beautiful book, No Death, No Fear, No Birth, No Death, No Fear, by Thich Nhat Hanh. It's just really life-changing, yo. So if you think about something like that, then imagine your own soul. You can never, ever be separate from that which is you. It just is, you can't. There's the illusion of it, and that's why we come here. We experience this dissonance, you know what I mean? But that's an illusion. So the transformation is to learn to sense and experience your connection with the divine by acting on inspiration as it comes to you. The message of the eek is like, yo, when you feel questionable, when you feel, what is it? What is this connection? Act on the things that are sent to you. You got a song in your heart. Somebody has a song in their heart. Somebody has a dance in their hips. Somebody has a word for the paper. Somebody has a word for the masses. Anytime you don't feel connected to spirit, ask your heart to stop. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Because you're connected to something so much greater. But in that, you are a part of that which is greater. You can never be separate from that, baby love. The mudra for the eek is, so you want to have your hands open beneath the mouth, blowing the breath of spirit, moving the hands up and out and around, and ending with hands together as if in prayer. And actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to post up on my Instagram the mudras that I've been telling y'all to do for the Mayan Oracle, because you know, you need a visual. Like, some of them are really easy to explain, but some of them are like, I can give y'all a visual. And of course, for those that are into EFT, affirmations, psyche, any type of reprogramming, an affirmation for the eek is, I am the unified presence of spirit. I am the unified presence of spirit. Before I give y'all this last statement, I just want y'all to remember that God has no hands and feet on earth without you. That's how freaking close you are to the divine. Is that God has no hands and feet without you. And the meditation is, I am the fertilizing and loamy force of the cosmic wind. Ashe. I love y'all. Thank you so much for joining. And that ends today's Mayan Oracle, brought to you by Karunā. This is the eek. Y'all know, follow me on Facebook, Karunā with 2 A's